Have you ever been freaked out because you couldn't figure out what's your purpose in life? If so, then I reassure you, you're not alone. That guttural feeling that we feel once in a while, that's called purpose anxiety. According to Jordan Grumet, the author of the Purpose Code, purpose anxiety is defined by the stress, the frustration, the depression that we go through throughout our life trying to find our purpose. We all go through purpose anxiety one time or another in our lives due to social pressure, high expectations from our loved ones, even the misconception of purpose itself. But what if I tell you that we misunderstood the concept of purpose? What if I tell you that we had it wrong all along? Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. There are two types of purpose. There's big purpose and little purpose, also known as big P and little p, respectively. Big purpose is goal-oriented. Examples are becoming the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, creating a masterpiece in art. Those are big purpose. Little purpose is more oriented towards the journey, the process, the small victories. Practicing my jump shot all morning, be ready for the big game in the afternoon, that's a small purpose. Taking cooking class so I can do my own meals at home, that's a small purpose. Back then, I tried several times to meet my objective without any proper game plan or strategy. Back then, I said to myself, I'm gonna make 100K a year, gonna get that stack. But I neglected reducing my debt and reducing my compulsive spending. Summer's around the corner, I'm gonna go on the beach, I'm gonna look all swole. But I didn't eat healthy enough in the beginning of the year, and I didn't work out enough to be ready for summertime. I was so focused on big purpose, the end game, instead of little purpose, the process. In reading the Purpose Code, I understood that I had to put a lot of emphasis on the little purpose to eventually reach the big purpose. To have a sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose again. Now, spoiler alert, we all hate taking the first steps. When you do a marathon, doing the first 5 kilometers sucks. Hell, when we do our icebreaker speech, that kind of sucks too. Let me explain. When you start the first time, you get butterflies in your stomach. You're not sure how you're gonna feel. You're afraid to be judged. But that's perfectly normal. It's okay. It's a normal feeling. You see, to reach that big goal, the big purpose, you have to start from somewhere. You have to do a lot of small purposes until you reach finally to your goal, even if it's challenging at first. And I'll take myself again as an example. I want to become a public speaker and a part-time actor. That's big purpose. To reach that goal, I decided to do several little purposes on the way to reach that goal. What have I done? I've attended Toastmaster meetings and doing challenging roles. I asked my peers for helpful feedback to get better. I stay active and I eat healthy to feed my mind, body, and soul. I go on YouTube and I take acting lessons. I meditate, I read books, etc., etc. All of these things I was able to tally up and tally and tally up till I had the tools and the fortitude to finally reach that goal. Last year, in October, I did my first speech in front of a large group of people. It was at Vanier College. It was for students who are studying in neurology. It went very well. The following month of November 2024, I did another speech, this time all the way in Quebec City, in front of students who are in primary school. It was challenging in the beginning, but it was a very awesome experience. And also, if you guys are on YouTube, you may be seeing me in a commercial or two. I was in the A&W commercial and also Point S. So, as you can see, all of that paid off. If that doesn't convince you enough, then consider this. Everybody here, we have kids. If not, then you have nephews or nieces. Well, for our kids, when they were toddler, in the genesis of their life, they started to crawl, and they crawl, and they crawl, and they crawl, and then they stand up. They fall on their butt several times, but they still manage to stand up. And then they walk gingerly till they jog, and then they run to the point that we can catch them. Well, all of that is all small little purposes. If that's not an inspiration for you, then I don't know what to tell you guys. Now, aiming, having tunnel vision is important, don't get me wrong, but it's important to get the small victories along the way to reach that big purpose. So my fellow Toastmasters and guests, what small purpose are you willing to do today to eventually reach that big purpose? I'll pass the control back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.